Hi guys, welcome to Mike on the Mat, obviously our mobility segment. Apologies for the lateness of this one, obviously everything going on with the new place and everything, a little bit behind on these, but I'm looking to accelerate and catch up on these quite drastically, so hopefully at home you're going to have something to do. Guys, as in the mobility segment, what I'm going to be looking for today is we're going to focus a little bit more around our kind of low back, more than anything else. Of course, as we go through this, we'll go through the upper back, shoulders, and we'll discuss potentially doing some sort of online seminar with you guys to help kind of give you a bit more on all body movement. Anyway, low back's probably the biggest one right now. Most people are sitting down a little bit more at desks at home, and so we felt like this was the right place to start. Guys, everything that I can do, hopefully you can definitely change it however you like, but let's talk about going through this one. So actually, one of the first things that I'm going to go through is actually using just a piece of wool. Hopefully we've all got a piece of wool, I'd like to imagine so. So from here, all what's going to happen, just roll onto your back, butt as close as you can, and then ideally here, guys, I'm going to try and make sure you're not muffled at all. All right, and then from here, guys, you can literally just relax for me. And from this point, nice big deep breaths. That's all I'm going to be looking for, yeah? 8 nice big deep breaths. I'm trying not to let the sound muffle as much as I can. And you're going to do nice 8 big deep breaths. And you're actually going to try and push that lower back, push that breath into the lower back. Obviously, this is quite good for posture, and by all means, legs nice and straight, so you're kind of working hard here, okay? Now guys, obviously 8 big deep breaths, and you're going to do that about 3, 4, maybe 5 times for us, okay? Obviously, shake it off. Obviously, the hamstrings are starting to stretch, lower back's obviously pushed into the ground, and hopefully getting some nice movement. If this is a bit too much, holding this position maybe a little bit tighter, you can obviously, of course, bring your knees down a little bit, so up against the wall. But the idea is that we're going to let gravity do its thing. But ideally here, guys, nice big deep breath. Okay, I'm looking for 8 of those. Again, anywhere from 3, 4, 5 rounds. So this will take a few minutes. So I imagine this whole kind of segment that we're going to talk about and go through will take a few good handful of minutes. So if you need something just to relax a little bit more, obviously it just helps on your mobility whilst at home for us, okay? Cool. Guys, the next thing we're going to discuss, okay? Of course, we've already talked about the kind of knee rocks, but today we're just going to talk about this kind of position, okay? So feet back up against the wall, obviously trying to get your butt as close to the wall as possible, and you're going to go again for me, okay? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward kind of stuff. Cool. So guys, let's move on to our next exercise. Of course, you can pause me. Hopefully you've got a little bit of relaxing, maybe some music going involved, or maybe you're habit stacking. So what that means is maybe you're listening to a book, a podcast, or something whilst you do this. It's not a problem, but some nice chilled music will be fine. Cool. All right, bring myself down now. Okay. So I'm going to try and utilize and stay in this position. Saves us kind of moving around a little bit. So the next thing here, guys, it's quite an easy one. It's going to be the knee tuck hold, all right? So if I'm able to get myself in the position, all right, from this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck my knees up and I'm going to hold it in close. Guys, of course, if you can't do this, you can literally grab your ankles and you can literally lie yourself on your back and hold this position. Again, we're looking at breathe work. I know it looks funny on the camera, right? But ideally, if I move slightly forward, maybe you get a better view of it. But ideally here, guys, you can grab your ankles and literally in this nice kind of baby pose. 8 big deep breaths. Again, you're gonna wanna do this about 4 or 5 sets. All right, going through this again, it's either a knee tuck, so we're working hard here, or grab your ankles if you're finding it a little bit harder, okay? Nice big deep breaths. Going through that whole movement for me. Guys, that's what we're looking for from that position, okay? The next thing, one of the biggest ones, obviously we're doing this a lot in our warm-ups and so on, but guys, hopefully you can see this in here, and maybe you can talk about it, but if I'm in a T position and I actually bring the leg across, and I can literally have a straight legs for this one, okay? trying to keep both shoulders on the ground and I can reach across. If I find it quite difficult, you can bend the knee. Obviously, legs straight adds the stretching a little bit more. And again, with these positions, I want you to do about 8 big deep breaths, 3 to 4 sets a side. So here, as you can see, as I'm starting to breathe, that foot will also be coming down. Okay, so let gravity do its thing for me. Okay, all right. And then guys, pretty much last but not least, I like from our low back stance. Again, it's pretty simple stuff. It's nothing mental. It's nothing mental. It's just our cat-cow stretches, or kind of skin the cats, whatever you want to call it, okay? And again, you're going from this kind of hands and knees position here, and then we're just trying to literally flex and tuck our pelvis right underneath us as much as we can. You're going to hold for 5 seconds, and you're going to breathe all the way out, arms nice and straight. See how much flex you can get in that. It's like a good old WAP video going on. And then you're gonna move from bit to bit. You can hold for about 5 seconds. Try and focus on those nice big deep breaths as you move through this, okay? So guys, if you're doing that quite all together, that should take you a good handful of minutes to rock through that. Hopefully the sound was nice and clear on that one. So we're looking for our legs straight up in the air, hopefully on the ground. You're also looking at the tuck up kind of baby position, should I say, or the knee hold, where literally you're just holding it for around about kind of 30, maybe 40 seconds, focus on the deep breaths. And you're gonna wanna do that about anywhere from 3 to 5. Doesn't mean you have to do 5, all right, but 3 is probably the bare minimum. If you mix that, of course, with the kind of the baby makers, if you wanna mix that with the skin the cats as well, there's just some nice good movements, and obviously the leg twist, obviously a lot of us call it the open book, trying to get that foot right across. Allow gravity to do its own thing, and again, it's a chance to relax for us. So yes, we're working on mobility, all right, but again, breathe through the segments at all times. About 8 big deep breaths. It helps build a nice kind of structural point for our core position. It helps with obviously our posture. Now, hopefully guys, that's enough to just get ourselves in the mix.